Hi everyone, my name is Rhonda and welcome back to another episode of Presley Mania. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that is serious, it's disturbing, and it bothers me greatly. In case y'all didn't know, I love Elvis. Can you tell? I've got my office all decorated here for Christmas. I have Elvis things everywhere. But I love him. And I think that he was a wonderful man. I think he did a lot to help the community that he lived in, to help others. He was a man of faith. He loved the Lord. I love the Lord. His music touched my soul, and it still is touching people today. Elvis is everywhere. But that being said, so are negative comments about him. I was talking to some friends, and they happened to bring up some of the negativity that's been floating around out in the internet and just all around. And it bothered me. And I thought, well, I'm just going to do a quick little check. So I went in to Google and I typed in, was Elvis abusive? And what popped up absolutely blew my mind and thoroughly, thoroughly upset me. I wanted to go through and read you just some of the little titles that came up while I was searching through this. And after I finish, I want to talk about what we can do to maybe promote the good. So here we go. Now, keep in mind that some of these are not pretty topics at all. So that being said, I'm going to start reading them. Elvis Presley gave black eye to Priscilla Presley after indulging in uppers. Daily Express reported that. Your favorite musician is and I'm not going to say it, but it's and that was from Elvis Edition, acrn.com. Resurfaced article claims Elvis Presley was a pedophile, rapist, the Express Tribune. Elvis Presley was a sexual predator, and it's weird that people still mourn him. Pop Dust. The real story of grooming that Priscilla, the movie, leaves out. Salon.com. Priscilla, again referring to the movie, depicts Elvis Presley as physically and emotionally abusive. That was on YouTube, and it was USANC News. Priscilla Film Review. A shocking account of Elvis's abuse. That was from Ground. Elvis, the king of luring 14-year-old girls into bed. Thread killer, posted 5 years ago. Now, I wanted to bring that out. The reason that I went ahead and listed that one is because once these topics start coming up, then all of the stuff that was written years ago starts popping back up too. So if there was anything negative out there about him, it's going to be mixed in with the other stuff. So I wanted y'all to be aware of that. Another title was No Ladies Man. Elvis Presley's life was marked with concerning age gaps and abusive relationships. Priscilla depicts Elvis Presley as physically and emotionally abusive. Details about Elvis Presley's sleepovers with young girls, grooming fans, and mistreating girlfriends. Priscilla, again, the movie, throws a chair at Elvis's sanitized reputation. King of abuse. Elvis Presley was a pedo who preyed on 14-year-old girls, and he had a secret string of underage lovers, a bombshell book claims. Let's talk about what book I think that is. I think they are referring to a book written by Joel Williamson, Elvis Presley, A Southern Life, that was published in 2014. But again, you see what I'm saying is that they start pulling things from here and they start pulling things from there to create the narrative that they want to exploit. Okay, let's get back to the topics here. Elvis was the king of treating women like crap. They didn't say that word. You can imagine what they said. And luring 14-year-olds into bed. Priscilla Presley said Elvis Presley once slapped her for this shocking reason. Elvis Presley's bodyguard claimed he once knocked a woman over with a pool cue in a rage. Priscilla Presley details harrowing abuse against Elvis Presley in memoir. I was his doll. 15 ways Elvis was a creep. I could tell you 15 ways they might be a creep. I'm sorry, I had to. Priscilla confronts a creepy Elvis. Elvis fired a gun at Ginger in bed and gave Priscilla a black eye. The horrifying reason. One of Elvis Presley's confidants claims he had a revolving door of teenage girls brought to his home. Oh my gosh. And then this one, which makes me nauseous too. Elvis Presley killed himself, was tormented by guilt over young lovers. That was from his stepbrother David Stanley, and that was reported on page 6. Okay, so a lot of this stuff mainly has started up again because of the movie Priscilla. Why does she have to do that? I have asked that question over and over and over. It has just, whether she meant to or whether she didn't. And we could debate that all day long. The fact is that it has opened up a can of worms. And the picture that it has left the younger generation with, and a lot of other people who don't know that much about Elvis, who haven't, aren't necessarily big fans. They just take things at face value. It's opened up a mess, is what it's done. And we have him being looked at as something horrible, In one of my previous videos, before I saw the movie, I listened to a lot of critics. And one of the critics said that it portrayed Elvis as a monster. And I said I didn't see it that way. However, what I do see as monstrous are these headlines that I just read to you guys. These are horrible. They're terrible accusations. No one would want to be seen as what these paint him as. And the sad fact about it is that a lot of times the articles have been completely misconstrued. They have been written to just grab a headline. They've been written for money. Why David Stanley would say that is beyond me, but we do know that they've written lots of books, or he's, and is it for shock value? What is it? I don't understand it. And I don't understand why people are preying on the negativity instead and trying to make these things an issue. They don't even realize that they're not true. You're talking about these 14-year-old girls. Have any of you taken the time to listen to, to them talk? Have you taken the time to see their interviews and what they had to say when they were confronted and asked about the fact that they were so young? Did they say Elvis abused them? No, they did not. In fact, they had nothing but high praise for the man and said that he was a perfect gentleman and treated them very well and very respectfully. Why do these stories have to capitalize on ugliness? It makes me sick. And if Elvis were here today, he wouldn't like it. And I guarantee you he would have something to say about it. It would turn his stomach, as it has turned mine, and I hope it turns yours. As Elvis fans, we need to take a stand for him. And we need to tell people when you hear these things that they're wrong and they're incorrect, that they need to dig deeper. They need to listen to the interviews of these women who dated him and how he was such a nice man and how he treated them, instead of just taking a surface claim and running with it. And I am also angered by the fact that Priscilla had to go and make this movie and that it has started up things that could have been left alone. It is digging up dirt, and it's all probably for money. I don't understand it. I don't understand why she would do such a thing, and it makes me sick. Lisa was worried about it as well. I mentioned it in another video that I did, and you can check those out on on this channel, Presley Mania. And Lisa had written emails to Sofia Coppola before she died, stating that this movie was going to be damaging to her dad and to their family and to her little girls, who do not even understand why people are saying these things about their grandfather. It's terrible. And I, for one, am ready for it to end. I want the positive things of Elvis to be put out there. How do we combat the stories? How do we stop these lies? Well, again, stand up for him. But let's share the truth and the positive things. I am on another YouTube show called Two Gals Talk About Elvis. And it's with a friend of mine, Shauna Fleming. And she and I are going to start doing some episodes on the generosity of Elvis. So I hope you will tune into those and listen. It's time that we, as Elvis fans, start putting out the good things about him. Because Lord knows there is enough bad out there. And unfortunately, some of it has been from people who claim to have loved him. And in this case, Priscilla claims that he was the love of her life and that she would never, ever say anything bad about Elvis. Oh, really? Do you not realize what this movie has done? I didn't make up all of these titles on here. Not a single one. I found them on the internet, and you can do the same. That doesn't sound like somebody who loves him. It sounds like somebody who is angry and is trying to exact vengeance and try to make herself feel better by making him look like a monster. Also, I want to say this about Elvis. Elvis did so much for so many people. And he did most of the things anonymously. He didn't do it for credit. He didn't do it so that people would say, oh, look at what a good guy he was. No, he did it just because that was his heart. That was his soul. He cared about people. Let's talk about even the fact of the concerts he did when he was sick and he didn't you know, he literally was. He was struggling to do some of those last shows he did. But he got up and he did it anyway because he didn't want to disappoint his fans. Does that sound like a man who was bad? I don't think so. He didn't charge exorbitant ticket prices either. He wanted people to be able to come and see him without being charged an arm and a leg for it. I wish I could have been lucky enough to see him. I had a chance, and I'll save that story for another day. But anyway, let's talk about things like Elvis's faith. Let's talk about, again, the goodness of Elvis. Let's talk about how he could sing and his beautiful voice and the joy that he brought to other people. And let's not forget, at Christmas time, all of the charities that he gave to. I believe it was, and I may be off because I didn't look this up before I started doing it, but I believe he gave like $10,000 a year to charities, $1,000 to 10 separate charities every year. And again, I didn't look that up before I started this video, and I should have. So I may be off a little bit on the numbers. But that is still an incredible sum of money. I mean, in today's dollars, that would be an exorbitant amount. So, again, let's stop supporting the people who are perpetrating all of these ugly claims. And yes, I'm even going to say, let's stop supporting Priscilla Presley. She doesn't deserve it. She doesn't deserve the adoration that is being thrown on her by people. She does all of these shows about talking about things about Elvis and charging huge prices for people to come see her. She's even doing videos where she will wish people a happy birthday if you pay her $200. I don't understand it. I don't like it, but I'm tired of her taking advantage and ruining Elvis's good name. Priscilla, if you truly, truly loved him and he was the love of your life, and like you said to Pierce Morgan, that you would never ever badmouth him, why in the world did you put out a movie that did it? It's horrible to think that so much of this has been dredged up because of a movie you did because you love the almighty dollar. Or is it that you just love the attention? I'm not sure, but either way, I want it to stop, and I am sick of it. Anyway, this is my take on what's being put out there right now. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will take to heart some of the things I said, and that the next time somebody says something ugly about Elvis Presley, you will stand up and defend him because he's worth defending. He deserves being defended. Thank you again for watching. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. I hope that you will hit the like button, and if you want to be notified as to when other shows I have upload, hit the bell, and it will notify you on your YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching, everyone. I appreciate it so much. Happy holidays. Goodbye, everyone.